Our client was spending $3,000 a month on ads and getting inconsistent results. He was trying to solve the marketing challenge on his own, but he finally understood that he needs external help. 6 months after working with us, 300% revenue increase from 5 digits monthly to 6 digits. Here is every single thing that we did. But before that, here is some context. Who am I and why should you even listen to me? I'm Veselin. I'm one of the founders here at the agency DeqVision. We primarily focus towards home ecom brands. We get them to 150k monthly revenue and beyond. We have implemented a specific method that we call the visionary method, and that's how we've been getting all those results so far. Now, here is also some context about our client. He is in Europe. He is offering space-saving furniture, which he is importing from Turkey, and he has a pretty high AOV. It's around 1.5k. And finally, before we get into the details, I know you may ask, how did you even start working together? Well, we met at a furniture event. I really liked the furniture that he was offering to people. I saw potential, I made an audit to them, and that's how we started working together. So what did the business look like when we first came in? First of all, the website was very badly designed. They had a confusing UX and UI, and we had to fix that first. So our full attention was to giving them advice about what kind of platform they need to choose, because they weren't on any of the famous platforms. They weren't on WordPress, they weren't on Shopify. It was some platform that's like very local and it wouldn't really work. So we first consulted the client about that. We picked the right platform for them and we started redeveloping the website from scratch. What the client did was start optimizing the description of all their products, and what we were doing at the same time was trying to improve the design and trying to make sure that when people come to the website, they can understand better what this space-saving furniture means, because in some markets, when someone says space-saving furniture, they don't really know what that means. Now, another issue that they had ongoing was the fact that they just had broad search campaigns on Google. They were just targeting some of the keywords which were related to their products, but it didn't really make any kind of sense. I mean, they were getting traffic from those keywords, but it was very badly optimized, and whatever money they were spending on ads could have been improved. And when we saw this, we just told the client, let's stop the ads for now, let us work on those ads, let us improve them, and then we can relaunch the Google Ads campaign. Now, when it comes down to Facebook and Instagram or Meta, what the client was doing was just running single image awareness ads, which were just running to a very wide audience, and he didn't even know what's going on. And he was also running some videos which are actually in Turkish, so people couldn't really understand them, which again is a mistake. And now, on top of all those issues, there was no retargeting to people who have visited the website. It was all just, if the algorithm managed to get to someone who visited the website, awesome, but there weren't any kind of campaigns which are specific about retargeting those people. There was no email marketing setup. The emails of people weren't even collected, and the consent about sending them more emails wasn't even collected, so we couldn't really have some kind of a strategy about that in the future. And also another issue, of course, when I just mentioned consent, would be the cookies. Cookies weren't really set up properly on the website, and that meant that we couldn't really get the people who we wanted to, and also it was borderline illegal when you look at GDPR and what they need there, so we had to fix the cookie consent as well. So while the website was being developed and the design was being improved, we were doing two things simultaneously. We were creating creatives which grabbed the attention of people, and they were also targeting the pain points of our ideal customers. As I mentioned, this is space-saving furniture, which means that people who have smaller spaces, smaller apartments, or people who maybe want to rent out are going to be very interested in those products. So we wanted to make sure that our copy and our creatives were targeting that as much as we can. And on top of the creatives, we also had to create videos. Now, it was pretty hard to convince our client that we need to get a team on site so they can film some videos, but eventually we did, which is a good thing. And this definitely helped, because especially for furniture, which is a bit more unique, you need to show to people exactly how it works and how it looks like. Otherwise, it's very hard to people to imagine only through some images. Of course, in the creative creatives, we try to make sure that we have carousels which are showing the whole different stances of space-saving furniture, but then also we managed to make it in one single design. But even if it's one single design, again, it's pretty confusing unless you have a whole video showing it. As for Google Ads, we managed to separate everything by category. We managed to create many different headlines, many different descriptions, which are going after the different audiences that we may have. And we managed to find the keywords which are getting the most traffic and the most conversions. So we started focusing our attention to those. We included more of those keywords on the website so that we have a better landing page experience. We managed to increase the quality score, and of course all those improvements in the end led to better quality scores, led to us showing more and more on Google, and just making the Google Ads channel more profitable. By the way, if at some point during this video you said to yourself, this sounds exactly like me, or yeah, I also have a home e-commerce brand, can you do this for me? Yes, we can do it for you. Just make sure you reach out to us at DeqVision. This is exactly what we do all the time. And so finally, let's talk about some results. Here is exactly what we managed to do after 6 months of working together. 14 times ROAS, 100% revenue increase in 3 months, and then 300% revenue increase in 6 months, and 500 new customers. So look, the key takeaway is that achieving good results with a furniture brand is possible only if you have a full stack approach to it. Just like I mentioned earlier, first we had to fix the website, and only then we started looking into ads. There is no way that your ads are going to convert if your website looks bad and if people can't really find the right information. Make sure you have the base set up first, then you start advertising, and then you search for more and more channels. Because yes, right now we have Meta and Google, but then we can also include Pinterest, then we can also include email marketing, we can also be including TikTok at some point. So we want to make sure that first we have that initial phase set up, and then we start looking into getting a lot of traffic into the website. And you also have to remember that this specific brand had a good competitive advantage. There wasn't that many businesses that are offering something similar, and if your brand doesn't have a competitive advantage, then you really need to focus on having an extremely good positioning. You need to have a very well-known brand, and you need to have patience. Oh, and by the way, if one of your biggest issues is also connected to your website, make sure you check out this video next, because there I talk a lot about what you need to do about your website and how you can scale properly after that. But before you go into that video, remember, just like I always say, never settle for average.